Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe with your notifications on and I'll be posting daily TeenWolf content. Channels like Jade's Corner and TeenWolf News inspired me to make content and I've been a TeenWolf fan from the very start. Now let's get right into the video. Hey everyone, this is a recap of TeenWolf Season 1 pilot episode titled Wolf Moon. The episode starts off with the full moon being shown on screen and there's cops in the woods searching for something with canines. In the next scene, Scott McCall is shown adjusting his lacrosse stick in his room. Scott hears something and he goes outside with a baseball bat to investigate what it is, then Stiles appears and unintentionally scares him. Stiles told him that dispatch called his dad and they're bringing in every officer from the Beacon Department and even state police because two joggers found half of a body in the woods. Stiles and Scott stumbles up on the search party in the woods and Scott is seen using his inhaler because he's a severe asthmatic. Stiles starts running towards the search party while staying out of sight. Scott chases him, then Stiles is discovered by the sheriff who is his dad. Scott hides behind a tree while the sheriff asks if he's there. Scott then walks away from where they are and Deers starts running towards him like they're scared of something. Luckily he doesn't get trampled. He lost his inhaler during all of the carnage and he starts looking for it, then he discovers the missing half of the body. He hears something behind him and he looks back, then it attacks and bites him in a matter of seconds. He got up and ran away immediately, then he's nearly hit by a car. Next scene takes place at Beacon Hills High School and Scott shows Stiles the bandage over the bite and Scott said that he thinks a wolf bit him and Stiles immediately dismissed his claim and told him that California hasn't had wolves in over 60 years. Scott then tells Stiles that he found the body and Lydia walks by them while Stiles says, "Hey," but she completely ignores him. They got into class and the teacher said that a body was found in the woods the previous night. Scott then hears a phone ringing and he could hear the full conversation that was taking place and it was all the way outside of the classroom, so there's changes occurring in him already. A new student is introduced to the class. Her name is Allison Argent. Scott gave her a pen because she said she forgot hers in the conversation he heard. Allison then gets immediately acquainted with Lydia and her boyfriend Jackson and she's invited to a party. Scott and Stiles are then seen at the lacrosse tryout and he told Stiles that this year he's making first line, then he got put in goal because the coach thought he wasn't a good player and the other guys would score and boost their confidence, but Scott saved every shot and everyone present was shocked and excited by this. Scott then begins to tell Stiles that he felt like he had all the time in the world to save the shots at the tryout and he could hear things that wasn't possible for him to hear. Stiles makes a joke that Scott is a werewolf and this is amazing foreshadowing. They went back to the spot where Scott found the body and Derek Hale throws the inhaler Scott previously dropped when he was attacked by the creature to him and tells both Scott and Stiles that they're on private property. Stiles then told Scott that it was Derek Hale and his entire family burned to death in a fire 10 years ago. Scott is now at work at the animal clinic checking the bite and he removed the bandage to discover that it was completely healed. Then Allison is seen knocking on the door and she starts freaking out about hitting a dog and she brought it to the animal clinic in her car. She brought Scott outside to see it and it was barking at first, then Scott's eye colors change while he looked at it and it immediately stops barking. Scott then goes to sleep in his bed and he wakes up in the woods. He then sees the creature that bit him looking at him and both of them started running and Scott jumped over a fence and landed in someone's pool. Jackson then confronts Scott and asked him where he's getting his juice. This is code for drugs because he did not believe that Scott was naturally that good at lacrosse. Scott then tells Jackson that he's sleepwalking 3 miles into the woods and then he's hearing things that he should not be able to hear and he's sure that he's out of his mind. Jackson doesn't buy it at all and tells him that he knows that he's hiding something and he will find out what it is. Stiles then stops Scott to tell him that they got back the fiber analysis from the hair found on the body and it belongs to a wolf. Coach then gathers everyone and tells them that this is their chance to make the team. Jackson immediately knocked Scott over during the tryout when he got the ball. Scott got back up and scored an impressive goal after Coach then told him that he made first line. Stiles is then seen researching lycanthropy. Stiles then told Scott that what he did on the field earlier in the day was impossible. Stiles begins to tell Scott about the possibility of him being a werewolf and he brought up points such as Scott's newfound speed, hearing, his vision and the fact that he doesn't need his inhaler anymore. Scott does not believe it and he's focused on going on a date with Allison, so he's annoyed by Stiles and thinks he's wasting his time. Styles explained that change can be caused by anger or raising the person's pulse. Scott then nearly punched Styles because he tried to cancel his date with Allison due to her raising his pulse, and he knocked over his chair in the process, and Styles took a look at the chair and saw claw marks. Scott then picks Allison up and brings her to the party. Derek is then seen staring at Scott. Scott then starts to have a headache and he leaves and tells Allison that he'll be back. He left the party in pain while Allison chased him to see if he was okay. Then Derek introduced himself to her and told her that he's a friend of Scott to cover for him. Scott went home and saw the full moon and turned on the shower. Then claws started to appear in place of his nails, then his fangs appeared and his eye color changed to a bright yellow. Styles knocked on Scott's door to ask him if he's okay, and Scott then said that he think he knows who bit him and killed the girl in the woods. He said it's Derek, and Styles then told Scott that Allison left the party with Derek. Scott then jumps through his window and transforms. He went to the Beacon Hills Reserve checking cars, and Styles went to Allison's house to see if she's okay, and she was fine. Scott looked up and saw Allison's jacket on a tree. This was left as bait by Derek, and then he told Scott to be quiet because people were there and he should run. Then arrows started being fired at Scott. Derek knocked out two of the guys that fired arrows at Scott and removed the arrow from his arm, and both of them ran away. Scott is then seen back in his human form, and he asked Derek who those people were, and Derek said they're hunters and they've been hunting them for centuries. Scott then accused Derek of biting and turning him, and Derek told him that the bite is a gift, and Scott said he doesn't want it. Then Derek said they're brothers now. Scott is then seen walking down the road and Styles picked him up. They both talk about how he could apologize to Allison, and he offered to help Scott out with his newfound abilities. Scott is then seen apologizing to Allison and she gives him a second chance, and Allison's dad honks for her, and Scott looked around and realized that he was one of the hunters that was chasing him. Thank you all for watching. See you guys in the next video.